You all stand for the pledge, please.
I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
It's just this, that the number. That's all that's really changed.
Got it, okay.
Bender.
Here.
Sellers.
Here.
Martin.
Here.
Aldense. Here. Sellers.
Here. Okay. The first order of business is approval of minutes of the December 21st, 2015 Town Board regular meeting, and a motion and a second, please.
So moved. Second.
Motion by Bender, second by Sellers. Take a look at the minutes, everyone. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? All right. Next order of business is the approval of bills payable. A motion and a second, please.
So moved.
Motion by Sellers, second by Bender. Please take a look at the bills payable.
I just have one question.
Yes, ma'am.
The storage rent, how much longer are we going to be using it?
We'll be using the
Storage at?
storage probably until after the town board, the annual town meeting.
Which is, this is going to be paid till May, right?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Because at that point in time, we'll hopefully get
Is
permission
there a lot of
to-
junk in there,
Yes,
or? Yeah.
yes, yes.
Yeah.
It's a lot of stuff in there. Yeah.
Separate question I have.
Okay. Any more questions on claims and demands? Okay, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Martin.
Aye.
Bender.
Aye.
Sellers.
Aye.
Aldense. Sellers.
Aye.
Motion passed.
Motion passed. Should we?
Resolution, because we don't have it.
Right.
I don't have it either.
No, he was supposed to give it to me, but Jim came in and interrupted, so I'm not sure. We may have to
Delay.
delay it, or do you want to do a
Lay it
special
over.
meeting,
I
or?
won't do a special meeting for it.
Okay.
Okay.
So we lay over until?
Should we need a motion to lay it over?
Yeah.
I don't know what else to do.
Oh, so one of us needs
Yep.
it? I move to lay it over to the next meeting. Second.
Motion by Bender, second by Sellers. Madam Clerk, call the roll, please, on this one.
Bender.
Aye.
Sellers.
Aye.
Martin.
Aye.
Aldense. Sellers.
Aye. Alrighty.
Cindy, what's the modification?
There was a section in there that John McConnell wasn't comfortable with, and strangely enough, it had been in each one of the contracts, but he just noted it. So, and I said to Mike, he goes, Cindy, it doesn't make any difference. So Mike said, we'll just strike it, and that's what the change is just gonna be. It's, I think paragraph B, I think is what's being struck. Everything else remains the same, so
Okay.
that was that.
All right. The next order of business is supervisor's report. As of right now, I don't have anything to report, but I would like to, I guess, ask the board for permission to begin the budget process. Do we need to take a vote for that? Or do I just give it FYI and you guys give me the thumbs up?
It's fine.
Okay?
So,
Okay.
So do we need to do a motion?
I guess not.
Okay.
I think so.
Okay.
Okay, that's all I have.
Just a question.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, are we going to get a revised budget with the line item changes on them?
Yes, and when we do the line item changes, you'll get a
Yeah.
revised budget with
Okay.
line item changes.
Okay, so
Absolutely.
that'll be done this month sometime, you think?
Yes.
Usually it's January.
Yes, more than likely it'll be
Okay.
done this month.
Okay.
And then I'll give you guys a copy of the line items where everything came from, where everything went.
Great.
So, okay?
Okay.
All right, the
So
next.
are you saying this will be at the next meeting? The January 2nd?
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe,
Yeah, I'm not sure
maybe.
Maybe, I
it's
would- yeah, I would.
necessary.
At
Right.
future meeting. I'm just
Right.
gonna put it here, future
Yes, we
meeting.
wanna pass it on.
All right, that's all I
Actually,
need.
Put that on Mike's file. What I'm gonna pass around, I'm assuming I'm next.
Yes, next order of business is
What
assessors
I'm
report.
passing around is the first draft of my budget for 2016-17. As you know, I need to present it to you before, for whatever reason, you guys need to get it in January. So it's tentative. We can talk about it later, but I just wanted to make sure that you got the rough draft, okay? So at the next meeting, if you've got any questions or anything, I can address those for you. This, how many did I make? You take one and pass it. I'll give Mike mine.
No.
This,
I'll share
what
with
you're
Paul.
looking at is just
I'll share
some
with you.
information. As we go on and we look at what's happening to our tax base. This is in regards to an article that was in the Freeport Journal-Standard, and it's talking about the homestead plan might not pay off. As I've said before, this is it's the state legislation trying to impose legislation that impacts us, not them, but the local. And what they wanted to do was, on this one, was to raise the general homestead exemption to $14,000. Now, mind you, that had basically been, they're saying here 7, I believe it's 6. So you're seeing the numbers that the county had given, that the exemption, moving it to $14,000 would lower the county's tax base by nearly $111 million.
Wow.
This kind of stuff to me is as I commented before, I call them feel-me-good legislation by our state legislators that really are looking for re-election. What's it going to take to get me? And then the impact for us is horrendous. This kind of stuff. And then them talking about freezing tax levy, freezing the tax base. Then we've got another one that's currently, and this is already in place, that the senior freeze homestead exemption was $50,000. Now it's going to be $60,000. So that's going to impact us some more. We are living in a community of seniors, so as they keep doing this kind of stuff, and our base is going the other direction already, the impact is just awful. I mean, township operates on our property tax base, and they just keep eroding it, just to beyond belief.
They know the seniors vote, and you know
I
what
got
is so
that.
crazy? It's just too bad.
Yeah,
Because I don't think the young people would vote the same way.
you can't. And again,
But the
sometimes-
seniors will do it. The seniors will do it every time.
Well, I just
mean, I
wanted you to
wouldn't,
get a
but-
copy, in case you didn't see the article, I wanted to make sure you got a copy
Yeah.
of the article. And then the other legislation that's already in place, they've changed the senior homestead freeze from 50,000 to 60. And we'll see if they go ahead and freeze the levy, or if they freeze the tax base, whatever, for assessments. I mean, I keep thinking, okay, when do you stop? When do you really start to understand what you're doing to the local? I mean, it's not just us. It impacts us the most because we rely solely with a small bit of income from the personal property.
Corporate personal property replacement
That's,
tax.
but, not enough to fund what we do. But,
You
thank
said it's 60,000 now?
It is, it went up to 60,000. Yes, it's
The paperwork I
50,000.
got for a freeze was not 60,000.
I'm sorry?
The paperwork that I got from them was not 60,000.
Yeah, that's,
To
I
have
mean,
it froze.
that's what this is reading, and I just printed it off, 12/30 of 15. for taxable year, let's see. It amends the property tax code in section granting a senior citizen assessment freeze homestead, provides that the maximum income limitation is 60 for taxable year 2015 and thereafter. They had done it in an increment. It was 40, 50, and now 60.
Wow.
60,000 in
We're
taxable
reading
year.
that actually.
Oh, that's another one. This is just another piece of legislation.
oh, okay.
No, this is on top of that one that I gave you. So, yeah,
Mark,
yeah,
don't worry about me.
yeah. So, yeah, they began that in 2008, and then they progressed, and finally, this is supposedly thereafter. We'll see how many more years that makes. But that's pretty much what I want. I wanted to give you the first draft of the budget for next year, so that way you got a chance to look at that, and if you have any questions, call.
Well,
Right.
more and more seniors seem to be staying in their homes longer too.
Right.
So that becomes another,
Correct.
piece of the,
Okay. All right.
Okay. Sorry. My news is,
Debbie Downer.
I'm disappointed in what they keep attempting to do without really realizing the impact it's having. I mean, you're gonna talk about doing $111 million loss in the county tax base doing something like this. Where do they think we're going to recoup this from? You know, and I can proceed on and go into the city when they did the flat levy. What did they think they're going to do? The rates either goes up, or oh my goodness, we're going to have some wonderful luxury taxes. Seriously, you got rid of the building permit fees. So now what are you going to do? I mean, there's I'm not sure what they're thinking or how they're thinking, but it's kind of not real clear in their thought processes, and yet they're going to hold your taxes. Good luck, everybody. Good luck. We'll see what that looks like come May.
Cindy, do you want questions on this now or later?
If you have some, yeah, I'm
Okay,
ready.
well, I
Sure.
was just curious, since you only spent 94 in legal fees as of the end of December, what the additional 500
Did I change? I thought I reduced that.
and
Did I
remaining.
give you the wrong one? Hold on.
Oh, wait a
I
minute,
think
you
she
did
did
reduce
reduce
it.
it.
I
You
did.
I'm sorry,
Yes,
you
she
absolutely did.
Okay,
Absolutely did, thank you.
Postage was going up because it's a quad year, so we will be sending out a large number of inspection notices. Those that we held off on, so there'll be that. Printing and publishing, it's just, things are costing more.
And dues and subscriptions?
Dues and subs, we're getting nickeled and dimed. It's very interesting. Everybody's inching them up gradually, and I'm really not sure we're gonna be able to maintain and stay within the 3,600 that I budgeted this year. It's gonna be really tight. I think I might be $33 short.
What are those things that are dues and subs?
Dues and subs would be Marshall and Swift, my commercial evaluation, the MLS books, I'm trying to think of what else we have underneath that category. Spigot,
Yep.
Oh,
these are
okay.
dues and subs.
Oh, okay.
Just things like that, but
Okay.
each one of them.
They
Marshall
go
and
up a
Swift
little.
is probably the harder of all of them. They take about a 4% increase each year. Telephone and internet, we were able to lower, so we held that one. We lowered that one last year, about $600, and we've eliminated a line, and we've been able to maintain our fees and keeping them down. Maintenance and equipment, just that one again it's given us, they always give us about, they tell you to roughly guesstimate 8%, and that's ABM. We don't control it. We budget for it. I'm hoping the 875, I'm hoping I use less this year. But I just put 8% onto the 875 I had last year. The rent, you'll see that one's declined because we've been held to the 900 a month until the end of 2017. So that's a good thing for us. Office supplies, we're kind of just holding that one. It may go down, it just depends on where we are by, towards the end of the year. Maintenance on the automobile, I bumped it up 200 only because it's starting to get older. And I keep, what's $400? It's not gonna buy me 2 tires, but I thought,
Yeah.
well, maybe I should put 400 in, just to be on the safe side. But that's about it. Everything else is pretty much staying the same.
Did you add increases for employees?
I have one that has a longevity step, that's made it with 21 years this year. Yeah, my employees are 21 years, 17 years, and 16 years. So, yeah.
But she's the only one getting a longevity.
Yes,
Made
yeah,
it.
actually, I have one every year,
Oh, really?
which is
Okay.
nice. I don't get them all hit at the
All at
same
once.
time,
Okay.
which is very, very nice. So that's pretty much my budget.
There's no other raise built in at this point?
Not at this point. Patrick and I have talked about it. I think a lot of that will probably depend on, I'm assuming everybody knows what the insurances are doing to us right now.
Killing.
It's killing most everybody in the private sector, so we'll see what they do to us. And then I guess it's up to you guys whether or not you want to allow an increase in salary to counterbalance an increase in the insurances.
Yeah, we won't get those figures until we get.
I'm
from-
hoping we can push that envelope and get things a little bit quicker so that way we can get our budget passed and
Yep.
approved. I know Patrick and I both would like it done in April.
Yep.
But what they're doing out there is not nice for the insurances.
It's
at all.
making
That's with anybody though, Cindy.
Oh, I know that.
You know.
I got that.
And we don't get any more money because we have to pay more for our insurances.
I understand.
So,
Yeah.
we're all suffering with that.
Okay, and then I think Mike brought in the resolution that you guys
Mhm.
delayed, and now you can approve.
Related over.
So now here's,
We have to undelay.
we need a motion to reconsider.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, now Madam Clerk, please call the roll on reconsideration.
Okay, this is for the approval of the resolution, right?
No,
No.
no,
No.
this is to
Undo the
reconsider the
layover.
Undo the
layover.
layover.
Is there a layover?
Thank you. I just gonna wanna make this right.
Mhm.
So we're gonna reconsider the layover.
Mhm.
Okay, Bender and Sellers. Okay, Bender,
Aye.
Sellers,
Aye.
Aldensee,
Aye.
Martin,
Aye.
Sellers.
Aye.
Oh,
Okay, now,
No.
Okay, thank you for your patience, kind of hectic today. The resolution is, you approved it previously, the third modification in November. We presented it to the landlord. The exact same wording had been in each of the previous 3 years. This year, he said, I won't sign it. I won't agree to it. It was a provision that allowed you to terminate the lease on 90 days' notice and having to pay rent for the time up and that you occupied it. You don't see the amended third modification with you, but what it is, it'd be the same one, extending it at $900 a month. But it is gonna delete the reference saying that we're gonna take out the sentence about the right of the town to give him 90 days notice and move out.
So what do we have to
So
give
what
him?
do,
He wants you here the whole year. He won't agree to it unless you're here the whole year. I'm gonna pay rent the whole year, so. At this point, this language has been in there. This is the third modification. It's always in there. It's nothing new. We didn't write it.
Everybody's
But
scared
this year he
something
said, nope,
wrong.
he said
Yeah.
he won't agree to it that way.
Huh.
So what we're bringing back to you, this would approve the same modification you approved in November, with the exception, we are deleting the provision that says that he can, that you can give 90 days notice and terminate the agreement early.
So once this is signed, if we wanted to move, you gotta give him a year's notice.
Not a year's notice, you'd have to pay rent through the end of the year.
You move whatever you want, as long as you pay
But
rent.
you gotta pay rent through the end of the year.
Yeah.
Basically,
I
it's
can't
same.
envision us going anywhere
Yeah.
but at the end. I mean, this gets us done through November of this year.
Here's the exact
Oh, just this one?
wording.
Right, oh, same.
I have the one from,
May not be an issue until a few years down the road, maybe.
well, the provision that he objected to was the early termination provision. And I see the third modification, and I
Is
don't,
it paragraph B?
is it?
Is there
Oh,
some-
I'm sorry, of course. Section 2, paragraph B, thank you.
Yep.
Tenants shall have the right to terminate this lease at any time during the base term or during any extension therefrom by giving landlord 90 days notice of tenant's termination of the lease agreement. Tenants shall also pay landlord retroactive and rent from February 1, 2016 through the termination date of the lease agreement at the rate of blank per month, less than the amount of rents already paid for such time frame. So he won't agree to give you the right to terminate in 90 days notice. And we'll attach an Exhibit A to you. I just wanted to get it before you, so you know what's going on.
Any more discussion? Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Bender. Bender.
Bunder.
Wonder.
Bender.
Aye.
Sellers.
Aye.
Aldency. Martin.
Aye.
Sellers.
Aye. All right, motion
You'll
passed.
excuse me, I have another meeting to run to. Thank you for your patience.
Thank you.
Good seeing you, Mike.
Always a pleasure. Hopefully next month we'll be back to normal.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
You getting your exercise
Another
in?
dream.
I need it. Too much partying.
The next order of business is the trustees. Trustees?
The only thing that I have to say is that I would like for you on the first and third Monday to at least put a note on that door out there to say that there is a trustee meeting so that the door will be open.
I'm not the doorman. I told you I was gonna say that, didn't I? I told you I was gonna say that.
I just wanted it so everybody would know.
Okay, we'll put it on the record that we need to put a note up to keep the door open.
Right.
It's just somebody
Monday.
wandering
Right,
out of their
right.
office.
Yeah,
and
just
Right, I
close
know
the door.
that,
Think
but I'm
about
just,
it.
Yeah,
leave
well,
the
so-
door open.
Right.
Just have a thing.
Meeting in progress.
Meeting in
Meeting in
progress,
progress.
thank
Okay,
you.
we can
See, if
do
you
that.
don't leave it open, then you're violating the Open Meetings
Absolutely.
Act.
Right.
And that
So-
could get you into
You know, what
trouble.
if I was just somebody from the public and I had something that I really wanted to say, and I wasn't able to get in here?
We would have heard you anyway.
We heard
We would have heard you. Anything else from the trustees? Okay, well, the next order of business is, wait a minute,
Public comment.
Executive.
huh?
Public comment.
No, executive session.
Oh, we're doing that now?
Yeah. The next order of business is executive session for the discussion of minutes of meetings lawfully closed under the Illinois Open Meetings Act, the Act, whether the purpose of approval by the body of the minutes or semi-annual review of the minutes as mandated by Section 2.06 of the Act, as authorized by Section 2C21 of the Act. I need a motion, and I need this motion to also include the assessor in executive session.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Sellers, second by Bender.
Should I call the roll?
Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Sellers.
Aye.
Bender.
Aye.
Aldency. Sellers.
Aye.
Who did I miss? Martin.
Aye.
Righty.
Okay, we're in
now
executive session.
Executive session. It is now 6:04 p.m. on January 4th, 2016. We are out of executive session. The action taken in executive session, we voted not to release executive session minutes. So, that being said, we move on to the next item on the agenda, which is public comments. Any public comments? No. Other business.
I do. I
Okay.
gave you all one of these things. And this, I got off, the state has done their task force about unfunded mandates and government, layers of different government. We have more in this state than any other state in the union. We have like 6,000 layers of government.
Wow.
And so they've just sent in their report, and what I did is I copied the pertinent parts, mainly because of see if this was going to affect township, because one of the layers of government is township. But the township is only 2% of the total pie, from what you've got here in this first page. Most of it is the school district, and then municipalities. The state government says that's only less than 1% of the total budget is for them, and then a lot, 11% is special districts, park districts. So in here is the information that I thought you would find interesting about the unfunded mandates and the graphs that they have and what their suggestions were to try to combine certain governmental entities and how to deal with unfunded mandates. But because the state laws are very difficult, it is very difficult to eliminate government layers. So that's what the problem, they say the biggest problem is the ability to get rid of them. And the unfunded mandates, which a lot of it comes from the state, is the issue that's in trying to coordinate everybody and working together and getting funding to work together. But I thought this would be interesting for you to look at since it does involve township. And so I just wanted to give it to you for your information.
I'm assuming this little spot right here is our
It's
2%.
2%. Yep.
It's not, it doesn't have a line to it, but.
No, but it doesn't in color. But I didn't have a color
Yeah, no
printer.
problem.
So, but the biggest portion of it is the school district.
Which has always been a thorn in our side for a long time.
Well,
The
it's-
state doesn't pay more of the school
Right.
funding. Because it's such a disparity
But
from
that's-
area to area, depending on the wealth
Yeah.
of the given tax
But again,
base.
that's part of the problem is the unfunded mandates that they put on all these ended governments and that there's no money there to do it. Like Cindy was saying earlier, it's a mess.
Yeah, they're not thinking,
And I don't know how anybody wants to live in this state after
Was
reading this.
unfunded mandates addressed in here at all?
Yes, that's part of this one here that does address it, and it talks about
Okay.
what they were and how they suggested,
here it
and,
is.
yeah. Yep.
Unfunded
The whole
mandates.
report's 401 pages, but I just copied the first portion of it that I thought, would pertain to what we were talking about.
and from 1982 to 2014, there were 266 unfunded state mandates
Yep.
imposed on the municipalities.
Mhm.
There were 145 imposed on the schools since 1992.
Yeah.
More than 6 new unfunded mandates a year. I mean,
Mhm.
Wow.
That's the problem.
Wow.
absolutely the problem.
I thought this report would be interested for you guys, if you want to look through it.
Thank you.
That's all I have.
All right. Well, if nothing else, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn until Tuesday, January 19th, 2016.
So moved.
Martin,
By
I heard Martin
Sellers.
said it first,
Did you?
and then Sellers.
No, it was Joy.
No.
Joy.
It was Joy.
It was Joy.
Joy.
It was
What
Joy
did you
both
say?
times.
Not saying anything.
No, she didn't say anything.
You never say anything.
And then it was Nikki Bender.
And then Bender?
Yes.
Okay, they always do it.
Yep.
No, you gotta keep
I
this,
should just
gotta
put it in
keep
my-
this moving.
All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Meeting adjourned.